So this is the press gaggle on the South Lawn today. And there were some interesting things asked during this. Wyoming cowboy, what's good, dude? I've always wanted to travel to Wyoming. Going to go to, what's it called? I forget the name of the place out there, but Wyoming is a beautiful state. Anyway, let's get into this here. Wow. All right. That's very loud.
When you say that, darling, that's fake news.
Well, why
I don't go to war.
Defense?
Listen, be quiet. Listen. You don't listen. You never listen. That's why you're second rate. We're not going to war.
Dang, he just straight roasted her right there. Like, listen, you never listen. That's why you're second rate, bro. Dang. I don't know what she said. Are we going to war? I don't know. Maybe he got like, maybe he thought that she was trying to like insinuate that we were doing something. I don't know.
We're going to clean up our city. We're going to clean them up so they don't kill 5 people.
Oh, she was talking about sending the troops to like Chicago. Hold on. She must have been talking about that. Hold on.
Mr. President. Mr. President. Are you trying to go to war with Chicago?
Oh, are you trying to go to war in Chicago is what she said. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense why. So it makes more sense why he reacted in an aggressive fashion once she was asking questions like that, because that's like kind of a very hyperbole type of like question, right? Phrasing it like that because it's just like kind of extreme. And so naturally, if one human being asks another human being something that's like extreme like that, then they're going to react in kind of an extreme manner, which explains. And plus he's got a big personality. I mean, pretty much at this point, everybody knows like how the president is. He's not interested in, he's not the type, he's a kind of a hard-nosed guy in the sense that he's not going to just let people walk all over him. Right. You know, and when she was asking him questions like that, he responded in the way that people are going to respond if they're being kind of like asked questions that are way out there like that.
When you say that, darling, that's fake news.
Well, why
I don't go to war.
Defense?
Listen, be quiet. Listen. You don't listen. You never listen. That's why you're second rate. We're not going to war. We're going to clean up our city. We're going to clean them up so they don't kill 5 people every weekend.
Okay, so what he said is we're going to clean up our cities. We're going to clean up so they don't kill 5 people every weekend. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, I think now I don't know the statistics, the crime statistics for Chicago. So maybe we should do a quick search. Let's take a look. How many people die from violence in Chicago every weekend? And then Grok pulls from like, you know, multiple sources across the internet to get a broad idea of like some statistical information, and then we can kind of see what that looks like. Because I'm curious. I'm kind of curious to see like what, or if there's statistical information. I would imagine there would be. C. Phillips, it was a very good game. Even the sequel is great. Yeah, man. Love it. It's the soundtrack for me. Soundtrack was definitely good. Doing some scouting for hunting season. Nice. That's probably fun, man. Wyoming's beautiful, dude. That's definitely a good place for it. I need to go out there. I think Jackson's Hole is the place that my wife wants to go at some point. I haven't been on a vacation, like a real vacation, since like 2021. So I think maybe we need to take a trip out there at some point. I definitely want to visit. There's a lot of places. Like I want to travel the world at some point, probably after I'm retired, because it's going to be way too hard to do that, you know, before I retire. But definitely want to travel the world. Before I do that, I want to travel the United States, though, because there's a lot of beautiful things here in the United States that I have not seen that I would like to really tour around and see. There's so many beautiful things to see in this country, and a lot of people don't get to see it, you know, because it's like most people are working every day. Most people don't have time to go out of town. Most people don't have the money to travel around the country. It's expensive. Costs a lot of gas money. Costs money for flights. Costs money for hotels. Costs money for food. You know, like, dude, I went out to lunch today. It was $100 for me and my wife. $100. And I was just thinking, How do people afford to do? We don't hardly ever go out to eat. That's the first time we've been out in like a month, probably, because we don't go out. We cook at the house every day because it saves money just eating at the house. No drinks, just food. Because I don't drink alcohol and my wife doesn't drink alcohol. So just food. You know what I mean? Like $100 for just food. And that's like, we had one appetizer and like a couple of entrees. So, you know, that's, and granted, it was just lunch, but still, it's like, bro, man, I feel like I used to go out to lunch and be able to spend like $40-$50 and like get a big full meal. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just dating myself. It feels like it feels like things are getting more expensive, or maybe it's just the location I went to. I didn't go to a high class spot. Like I just went out to a beer garden and we got some chow there. It wasn't too much. So I don't know. This is why I don't ever go out to eat. Like I just eat at the house. I'd rather go to Harris Teeter and just buy a whole bunch of steaks and hamburger meat and chicken and just cook at the house every day, and eggs. I eat tons and tons of eggs because it's just so much cheaper, dude. I don't like throwing money away at a restaurant when I could just cook something really good at my house that is just as healthy, you know? That's just me. Like I live the thing that was taught to me at an early age is if you live like you're poor, eventually you won't be. And like I'm doing okay, right? But I grew up very poor. We had very little money. My parents were able to take care of us. They fed us. You know, we had good food all the time. We always lived in a decent house, had, you know, clothing, beds, but you know, we were pretty poor. Like my mom was a cashier at Walmart while my dad was restoring furniture and stuff at one point. I didn't get new shoes at the beginning of the year and stuff. Like I was wearing Walmart Everlast shoes to school. Like we were poor, but we got by well. But I don't know how people are doing it sometimes now. You know, like you got to have like 2 or 3 jobs sometimes to be able to afford things, man. It's just nuts. All right, what are we doing here? I just asked you a simple thing, bro. The homicide map data set might include general crime, not just homicides, complicating the search. Bro, come on, dude. I'm not asking you. I'm just wanting some simple data, dude. How many people die from violent crime in Chicago every weekend? That's what I want. Chat history. Let's see. Refresh. How many people die from violent crime each weekend in Chicago? All right. Let's see if it has to take a long time. How many people die from violent crime each weekend in Chicago? How many? Okay, chicago.gov. That makes sense. They'd be looking there, so they're looking everywhere. Most violent deaths are from shootings, especially on weekends. Okay. 278 homicides occurred by August 31st of 2025 over 243 days. Okay. Average number per weekend. Most veggies you can freeze. Yeah, frozen vegetables is a good one for sure. My buddy just made me some spicy pickles from his garden. That's probably fire, dude. From 2012 to 2016, average shootings per day were 10 or over 10 on weekends, about 7 on weekdays per study. For 2025, over the 4th of July weekend, shootings and homicides dropped 30% from 2024, with 19 killed then. Weekend in Chicago crime reports often means Friday evening to Monday morning, based on examples. Yes, correct. Very good, Grok. That's what I would think. Started noticing the job market is slowing down, at least here in Florida. I don't know if someone else noticed that in their state. We do freeze some things, but canning lasts a lot longer on the shelf, in my opinion. Reports showed 97 homicides. When was that? I missed that part. Come on. Browsing web page. I'm in Florida too, and that doesn't seem to be the case for me. I guess it where you are. Only palatable way to eat cucumbers. Total homicides in 2024 were 573, providing a baseline for comparison. From August 24th of 2024 to August 24th of 2025, I didn't see how many it said. Grok has been disconnected. Wow. Give me a quick answer. Okay, here we go. In Chicago, violent crime deaths, primarily homicides, result from shootings, stabbings, or other assaults, occur at a rate of approximately 4 to 6 per weekend on average in 2025, based on preliminary data through early September. This estimate accounts for the city's overall homicide decline, down from 33% year to date compared to 2024, while recognizing that weekends, typically Friday through evening through Sunday night, or extended holiday weekends, they continue to see a disproportionate share of incidents due to factors like nightlife, gatherings, and gang activity. All right, so 2025 total homicides year to date, 278 people have been killed through August 31st per Chicago Police Department and Cook County Medical Examiner reports. This projects to around 450 to 500 for the full year, saying that it's the lowest since 2019, driven by targeted interventions like increased detective resources, homicide clearance rate at 77.4%, the highest in over a decade, and community violence programs. Historical and recent data show weekends account for about 30 to 40% of weekly homicides, often concentrated in 15 high-risk community areas like Inglewood and Austin that represent 24% of the population, but 63% of the gun violence. Shootings are the leading cause, with 80% plus of homicides being firearms related. Average non-holiday weekends, 3 to 5 deaths, 4 killed in the August 29 through September 1st weekend per CPD. That's crazy, dude. Holiday extended weekends, higher, oftentimes 6 to 8 deaths. Labor Day weekend, 2 to 5 people were killed in 2025 over Labor Day weekend. Wow. 8 killed, 50 wounded, and 37 incidents. Let's see. Oh, no, Labor Day weekend, September 2nd through the 5th of September 2025, there were 8 people killed, 50 wounded, in 37 incidents. On July 4th weekend, 7 people were killed plus 40 wounded. On Memorial Day, it was lower at approximately 4 people killed, but still elevated shootings. Okay, so here's the statistics for the years. It says in 2021, annual homicides were 797, was 7 to 10 on average weekends. This is during the pandemic, or still kind of during the pandemic, so people were probably cooped up and like feeling like stir crazy. It dropped down to 680 in 2022, dropped to 615 2023, dropped to 573 to 591 in 2024. Lowest since 2019. Interesting. And then in 2025, it's projected to be between 450 and 500, which is down a little bit. It says 33% year-to-date drop. Lethality of shootings up to 45% due to modified firearms, but incidents down 38%. Sources for these figures include the Chicago Police Department's Violence Reduction Dashboard, updated daily with a 48-hour lag, University of Chicago Crime Lab's 2024 end-of-year analysis, and reports from outlets like the Chicago Tribune, WTTW, and Fox 32. Data excludes self-defense killings. Okay. That's unfortunate, because this would be, like, I'm talking about total deaths as a result of violence in general. So self-defense killings would need to be a part of that. This is just like straight murder, and there was no self-defense involved. Expressway incidents and pending cases. Yeah. Obviously, so it appears based on these statistics that the rate of murder or homicide at least is down since 2019, but I mean, it's still not good, you know. It's still not good. There's still a lot of people getting killed every single week, you know. But yeah, that's anyway. So there's been a big conversation. There's been a big topic of conversation for a while with the president and everything, because people are like, you know, there's a lot of people that are saying, oh, maybe do you really need to do that and stuff? I don't know. I think because he's still talking about sending the National Guard up there to kind of make the place safer, which, I mean, 500 a year is still a lot. I don't know what's going to happen if they send the National Guard up there. It could cause things to be inflammatory. Chicago's a little more dangerous than DC is, so I don't know what would happen, but or it could also result in it being safer, you know. But they definitely need to make sure that if like they deploy the National Guard up there, that they are armed because it is dangerous.
That's not war. That's common sense.
He said that's not war, that's common sense. So I mean, I get it. Like, you know, you want to reduce murder in your cities, and if deploying the National Guard helps to do that, you know, and he's within his legal right to do so, then who's to say he can't, you know?
Are you ready? Are you ready to move to the second phase? Are you ready to move to the second phase of sanctions against Russia or punishing Putin?
We ate 2 deers in like 8 months, bro. That sounds good. I love deer. Yeah, I just hate how I know I can pressure cannon is just a bomb on your stove. Oh, geez. Yeah, you gotta be careful of that. Let's see. Nothing big enough last year for trophy, but I think I'm going to get straight ground 80-20 and then the third jalapeno cheddar sausage. Ooh, jalapeno cheddar sausage sounds good, bro. Sounds good.
What do you think of all the establishment attacks on RFK Jr.?
Well, he's a different kind of a guy. He's got a lot of good ideas.
RFK
but
Jr.
He's got a lot of ideas. You know, normally they don't have any ideas, and that's why we have problems with autism and so many other things, because we're coming up with the answers for autism. You watch. We're coming up with the answers for other things that normal people, regular people, easy to get along with people wouldn't be able to do. He's got a lot of ideas, and so do I. And we're going to
why target Chicago and Boston when there are cities in red states with higher crime rates?
Yeah. Really higher than Chicago?
There are, like Memphis and St. Louis.
Excuse me. Do you know how many people were killed in Chicago last weekend? 8. You know how many people were killed in Chicago the week before? 7. You know how many people were wounded? 74 people were wounded. You think there's worse than that? I don't think so.
So I will say this, 74 people were wounded in that weekend. That's crazy. 74. Like, I get it's a big city, but damn, dude, like, that's why it's so hard. Like, I have so much respect for cops because, like, they're the ones that are seeing this stuff. Most of us, like, people like us that are just in our houses and chilling and, like, in relative safety for the most part, we don't ever see that stuff. You know, unless you're like typing in Grok and looking up like the data for it and something like that. But it's like, man, they get exposed to so much violence and hate and just nasty, the dregs of society, dude. Like I can't imagine being immersed in that every day for years and years for like a 20-year career as a cop, dude, a beat cop.
A question about Lebanon. Hezbollah refuses to hand over its weapon to the Lebanese government.
Who does?
The Iran ally, Hezbollah, refuses to hand over its
We'll
weapon.
respond to that later.
President, are you considering attacking the cartels inside of Venezuela? You attack.
What are you going to find out?
Oh, yeah. So this is the big thing that everybody was like tripping about earlier. He said, so I'll rewind it. He said, are you guys going to attack the cartel inside of Venezuela? And he said, you're going to find out. So let's listen to that again.
You attack.
What are you going to find out?
Are you considering attacking the cartels inside of Venezuela? You attack.
What are you going to find out? You're going to find out.
Yeah. So are you going to attack the cartels inside of Venezuela? And he said, well, you're going to find out. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. See what else they say.
Say it.
Turkey's Prime Minister has announced that he's going to step down. And
I don't know anything about that.
President, what do you think about Kazakhstan? Are you going to visit this Central Asian
I
country?
may. I had a great conversation with him. Say hello to him. He's a good man. Thank you.
All right. That's the end of that one. So anyway, relatively short press conference, but some interesting information. Maybe not the most information, but a little bit. I think that we gained a lot from looking up that brief search on like the historical data. I thought that was interesting. I think that data is important. We'll see if they actually make the decision to send the National Guard up there or not. I think they're definitely in the planning phases because they're talking about setting up a base of operations out of Great Lakes. So I think it's Great Lakes, like the base that's up there. So we'll see what happens with that.